Hello and welcome to the POWERBOOST meditation. Today, let us experiment with the theme, what's the point? What's the point? Generally, we ask ourselves the question, what is the point of anything that we do? And asking this question allows us to determine the priority or the importance of anything that we are doing. And when we really understand the perspective of a point, we realize that we have a role that we are playing, but we also realize that we are souls. We are spiritual beings who are playing these roles. And so when we say, what's the point? We're actually trying to understand the situation from the perspective of the point, from the perspective of the being, from the perspective of the soul. Generally, the way we interpret, the way we understand or think about things is through the perspective of the role that we are playing. The role is linear, the role has a beginning, the role has an end. The role has its own identity, the role has its associated insecurities. And that's why the more we think from the perspective of the role, and that's our default perspective, thinking from the perspective of the role, the more we think like that, the more we are going into expansion, and the more simple things become complex. And when we understand the perspective of the point, it's like the point is eternal, the point is just unlimited, the point always existed, this point will exist even after this body dies, and this point existed before this body took shape. And so from the perspective of eternity, when I see things, then I'm not bothered by the detail. I'm able to stay in the essence. I'm able to stay close to my truth whilst interacting with everyone, whilst dealing with situations. And so in my thoughts, a very easy way to apply a full stop or to say that this is where I don't want to think too much. When I ask myself, what's the point? Means I just see the same situation from the perspective of the point. Then it's very easy to apply a full stop. That is a point. Otherwise, the mind goes into expansion. The mind goes into asking questions or exclamation marks, etc. And so the more we practice meditation, the more we strengthen this perspective of the point. And the more I live my life from the perspective of the point, I begin to realize that it is not just meditation, but it's a reality that I am a point, I am a guest here, I have taken this costume, there will be a time when I leave it. I recognize the value of everyone in my life. I cherish the presence of every being because we are all eternal friends. Life has brought us together for some time, and we're all playing our roles together. This unlimited perspective just allows the mind to very easily stay in the moment, not think too much about what has happened, and not to be anxious too much also about what's going to happen from the perspective of the role. When I, the soul, the point, I am secure, then the mind automatically functions in a very easy, natural, and peaceful way. So let us take a few moments to experience What's the point? As we sit comfortably and we relax ourselves, we realize that behind the mask, behind the detail, behind the expansion lies the point. This point is a conscious being of light. This point knows, understands, appreciates the game of life. This point always exists. This point is eternal. There is a time, a date, when this body was born. But this point existed even before the body took shape. And this point will continue to exist even after this temporary body perishes. I realize that I am this point. I'm a being of peace. I'm a being of love. I'm a being of light. And as this tiny being, I experience myself. I experience myself without the heaviness of the mask that I carry. I experience myself as a soul. This is my eternal reality. The perspective of the point is unlimited. I spend some time with this point. I let go of the mask for some time and fly up to my home of light. That's where I live. That's where I belong. That's where lies my reality. This is the world of the point. I've come back to my home. Just a tiny point of light suspended in the ocean of stillness. in the company of the divine. This is my truth. I experience it naturally. This is the point. The supreme, the divine, is where my world lies. I begin to gravitate towards the divine. As I experience closeness with the divine. My heart feels nurtured, nourished. There's a feeling that everything and everyone belongs to me. In this consciousness, the mind rests in peace. The world of the role is left far behind. I begin to absorb the presence of the divine. The eternal point who loves me unconditionally. In this presence, my consciousness is uplifted. I let go of anything that's making me heavy. And I see things from the perspective of the supreme point. I see everyone as innocent beings. I see the game of life as something to enjoy. Within the imperfections in the story lies the perfectly designed life. I hold on to this perspective of the point. As I enter back into the world of sound, action, matter, I hold on to the perspective of the point. It allows me to be myself, a point, to experience the company of the eternal supreme point, and easily put a point to the scenes of life. That allows me to live in the moment, enjoying the game of life. Om Shanti.